What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Nick over at Nothing But Niners. Guys, I'm joined today by Scott. We are going to talk edge rushers in free agency. I know a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of money in edge rushers in free agency, and there's some good ones out there, Scott, and we'll get to that. But first, guys, let me introduce you. Scott, what's going on, man? Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Scott. You can probably tell that I'm not from the US. I'm from the UK, so feel free to boo me on that one. But you can find me on Twitter at Scott, which is @_SC0TT_. And you can find me on Nothing But Niners and Niners Nation. I promise I'm not a dick like Kian Fahi.
I just realized, because wasn't sure, guys, this is going to be a quick one. Didn't realize that I did not mark this as private. We were doing a recording, but we are live. What's going on, fam? Guys, we're just going to talk. We are just going to talk quick edge rushing here. All right. I did not know that we were live. So what is going on? Let me pull up the chat real quick since we are live. Was not planning on doing that. So give me a second here. Let me pull it up and make sure I can see who is all in here. Yes, we are here. 13 people watching. Scott, what's going on, man? So let's talk about these edge rushers in free agency, man. We're already live, so we might as well stay live. Guys, we're only staying on about 15 minutes, so get everything in that you want. Let's do this.
Okay. Surprise. Wasn't expecting this. But yeah, basically, I think I was going to say, if you look at our video from yesterday, you'll find out what I think about our potential draft plans. And that is that I think we should take an edge rusher in the first round. So there you go. But actually, that video is going to come out tomorrow, so watch out for that one. But I personally think we should take an edge rusher in the first round, which means that I also think that we shouldn't be spending crazy money on the likes of DeMarcus Lawrence or Ziggy Ansah, because they're going to get paid. DeMarcus Lawrence is probably not even going to be allowed to leave Dallas. Jerry Jones is going to park a truckload of money on his driveway, probably just a franchise tag, and then he's going to park another truckload of money on his drive until DeMarcus Lawrence eventually signs a long-term deal with Dallas. Ziggy Ansah, I think, is probably the top guy on the market, so he's going to get paid somewhere. I don't think that should be us. I think we should, despite the link between him and Martin Mayhew, I think we need to go in another direction in the free agency market of defensive ends, and I think that we should try and sign guys who are probably going to cost us a little bit less money. So there are 5 names for me. I think there's Alex Okafor, who was at the New Orleans, Trent Murphy, Devin Kennard, I think he was the Giants, Junior Galette was also a Redskin like Trent Murphy, and then Dion Jordan, who was playing in Seattle this year. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of those guys. Alex Okafor, I think he was playing really well in New Orleans. They had him on a cheap contract. Played really well. I thought he came on surprisingly well this year. He'd been an Arizona Cardinal and done very little. I think he showed it up in the run game and the pass game. And I think, like a Trent Murphy kind of guy, he's someone who can play defensive end or that kind of Sam linebacker position that currently Eli Harold plays. I think they would both be an upgrade on Harold. And I think, unlike Harold, both Alex Okafor and Trent Murphy can play and stay down on third downs and rush the passer. They're kind of Sam Leo hybrid guys. Conversely, Devin Kennard is a Sam. He's a pure Sam linebacker. Stick him on the end on base downs. He can run with tight ends downfield if necessary, but he can play that kind of curl flat zone well, and he can set the edge. Pretty bog standard stuff. Pretty nice. Would be an upgrade on Eli Harold. And then my final 2 guys, Junior Galette and Dion Jordan, are kind of the most exciting in the sense that they are pure Leo pass rushers. Junior Galette, he's been injured for the last couple of seasons. Last year was his first season healthy. I think after 2 Achilles injuries robbed him of his previous 2 years in DC. Barely played those years. This year, came back, looked good. He screams off the edge. He's got polished array of pass rush moves. He's a sort of guy like a Chris Long, experienced veteran. You can bring him on third downs. He'll get the job done. And then you've got Dion Jordan, bust in Miami. The support system wasn't there. He was too close to too many people who were a bad influence on him. Went across to Seattle, got his shit sorted, and he started to look good. He basically kind of helped to make up for the fact that Cliff Averill was out for the year. Him and he was a third down rusher. Him and Frank Clark were both dangerous off the edge. And again, he's not as polished as Junior Galette. He's got nowhere near the experience of Junior Galette, but he's just another guy. You bring him on, stable of edge rushers. He comes in on third down and he gets after the passer. He keeps guys fresh. He might only get 30% of the snaps, but hey ho, you don't have to pay him very much money, and he will get you some sacks.
Yeah. So, guys, Scott really just broke everything down in there. So, Scott, I'm going to go through some of the chats here. Some people got some questions for you. So, people are saying agency list is Ziggy and Lawrence, which is from Kevin Watts. What's going on, Kevin? Appreciate everything you do, man. Watch us all the time. Free agency starts March 14th. Sweet and Sour says Lawrence will get the franchise tag. We were talking about that. Kevin says, do the boys have enough money to franchise tag Lawrence? Which they really don't. Cap space is really low, but they're probably going to cut some people. They're probably going to make some changes around to keep him there. I mean, what is he, 25 years old? I think he's 25, right, Scott?
Yeah, he's a young guy. Probably Des might find himself out on his ear. There are other guys there who are moving on. I'll just quickly look up the cap space that they've got there moving forward, and we'll see.
Yeah, I think they had like 19 or 20 million. I think that's what it was. After the rollover. King of the Ship says, do you think Cleveland is shopping Josh Gordon? We're talking about pass rush now, but do you think that?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I've not heard anything about it. It'd be surprising if they were, given he's their best receiver.
Yeah. NY's in here. You say, what's up? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to do the same. Absolutely, NY. You have got that right. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are going to give out a random gift to a random person who subscribes to our channel. It won't be the 1,000 subscriber, but it'll be a random person. So what's up, Shoal? San Francisco Giants even year championship fever. Dion Jordan's untapped potential. You spoke on Dion Jordan. You think that he is definitely untapped potential, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I think he's just the same guy he was coming out, but he's finally showed us that he can do it in the NFL level, and that's exciting. He's a restricted free agent, so Seattle, what they'll do is they'll tender him. They'll kind of put a round tender on him, and then if the 49ers pursue him, then they have to sort of pay that round tender that the Seahawks kind of are asking for. So it's kind of like a trade. So that's why he's not necessarily such a great option, but he is untapped potential and could be exciting.
So this is interesting. Niner Empire says, I really think the Cowboys are not going to keep him. They don't trust him enough to pay him big time money. Talking about DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah,
I can see why. You know, he's had his issues, but this year he's kept his nose clean. Contract year, and they are other than him, they have got nobody. I mean, they drafted Taco Charlton, and that might have been a thinking DeMarcus Lawrence couldn't get his shit together, so we'll let him walk, and then Taco Charlton would fill in. But Taco Charlton did nothing this season, literally nothing. They had the guy, was it Randy Gregory, who they drafted as well as a defensive end. He is just like, he's flamed out. He is Alden Smith all over again. Talented pass rusher, but literally just a lunatic off field. He's not there. So I mean, unless and they're not in a, you know, they're not in a great position to be able to come and get a high-end pass rusher either. So I think I'd be shocked if they let him walk. I think he's a prime candidate for a franchise tag, because you basically you let him gamble on himself for another year. It looks like they do have the money for it. They will make more space. It will happen if they want to make it happen. It's the Cowboys. They'll find a way. And I would be very shocked if they didn't just basically say, right, it's going to be a 1-year deal. If you misbehave yourself, then we are going to take a hit, but we need him in the building if we're going to go anywhere with Dak and Zeke this next season.
Yeah, I completely agree. NY has a question for you as well, but I'll answer that question. But so Kevin Watts says, All right, Carl Balcom says he's not going to be there. He's saying Dallas is going to get him back at all means, all costs. But let's just play the GM. Let's play the GM tag here for another question. So Kevin says, do Lynch and Kyle pull the trigger on him if he's really available? Lawrence, that is. If he is there, if you're John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, are you going after him?
No, I'm not. I'm not, because it's going back to that point of Dallas are in a very unique position whereby they can safely get him for one season to kind of make him prove it that he, number one, can keep his nose clean, and number two, can perform at a high level again. We do not have that luxury. If he hits the open market, we are paying him crazy money. We are going to have to outbid everybody. There are going to be teams throwing the cash at him. He's 25 years old. They're going to be 5-year, 6-year contracts probably, and there's going to be a lot of guaranteed money, and it's going to be very, very difficult to cut him if he flames out, if he's a fuck up. You're not going to be able to get rid of him. He's going to be stuck on your roster like an albatross around your neck. And that's why I don't want to do it. I think there are enough high-end edge rushers in the draft that we can go after who do not have that baggage. And I also think there are enough high-quality guys in the free agent class who you're not going to have to pay anywhere near that kind of money for, and who you're basically going to get that key third down pass rushing ability out of.
Everything you said makes sense. I mean, if he hits the open market, you're going to have to dump a buttload of money at him. You're going to have to hope that he pans out, that he can stay clean and stay cool on the field and off the field. But this guy is natural talent. I mean, you just don't let talent slip away like that with the money cap space that you have. Me personally, if I'm John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, I personally am dumping the dump truck on his front porch, and I'm leaving a trail of money down the driveway, down the road, down the highway, directly to Levi Stadium. I'm going to take money out of the truck and pull it in and put it in the hallways all the way to John Lynch's office, Parag's office, everybody else's office to get that contract signed. You don't let edge rushers like that go. You just definitely don't. You got Kevin, we got a lot. All right, so Scott, we got a lot of good questions in here. NY had said, let's see what he said here, because we already talked about this, or we have a video coming out. So he said, Scott, which edge rushers are some mid-round sleepers if we go in a different direction in the first? So NY, we're not going to answer that because we have another video that we're going to do, not tonight. We're probably going to do it tomorrow night and drop it on Sunday. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, and check that out as well. Also, let's see. Can we get the guy from Detroit? So they're talking about Ansah. Do you think that we can get Ansah?
I think we can get Ansah. I think he's going to have less money than Lawrence, because it was weird. Ansah was exceptional in 2016 and got like 2 sacks or something. He got barely any sacks. His sack conversion rate was ridiculously low. Conversely, this past season, his sack conversion rate was ridiculously high. He didn't actually play brilliantly, but he converted his pressures to sacks at a ridiculous level and at probably an unsustainable level. So his performance levels is probably somewhere between 12 and 2 or whatever it was he got in that year. So it's like somewhere in the middle, unless he obviously massively improves on his performances. I think he's more of an attainable target than Lawrence because of that, because he's not the top guy on the market, but he's still up there. Again, I'd be slightly reluctant personally to go there again, just because of this idea about the edge rushers, and teams are still going to pay him a load of money. But unlike with Lawrence, we have Mayhew. We have a link to Ansah that we do not have to DeMarcus Lawrence in any way. So we might be able to get Mayhew might be able to say, Ziggy, I helped draft you. This is the place for you to come. And he might say, great, I'm going to go there. This is where I want to be. Conversely, he might say, I'm going to go somewhere else to take more money. So he's not as good as Lawrence. He's not as likely to get as much money as Lawrence, but he's still going to get a lot. So again, I'd be wary of those guys.
All right. So You just said it. Mayhew has a past with him. Drafted him in Detroit. He's definitely not DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence really only had one really, really solid year. But that's the way free agency works. You have a really, really good solid year. And if it's a contract year on top of that, you are getting paid somewhere. I mean, one way or another, you're getting paid. Ansah, to me, is not the same type of player. They're two total different players. You just spoke about that, where in 2016 he had played really, really well, but he only had 2 sacks. Kind of reminds me of DeForest Buckner this year. DeForest Buckner played really, really well this year, but doesn't have the sacks to show statistically that how many pressures he put on the quarterback, how many times he hit the quarterback, how he got there. Let's hope that DeForest Buckner gets that type of year next year to where he can turn it around like Ansah did, to where he's producing those sacks. So let's see. Thoughts on Adrian Clayborn. Would you rather have him, who played with Kyle, and over Ziggy, who's injury prone?
Yeah, Claiborne's weird because Claiborne, he had like one crazy game, didn't he, against a really, really crap tackle. He just abused him. He's the sort of guy you can probably get on a slightly cheaper deal than either of those guys. And so he's a guy who, like kind of the Gallettes of this world, you can bring in and basically just put on third down and say, go and get the quarterback. That's all you're going to do, because we've got, to my mind, we've taken a high-end draft edge rusher. And then even then, I think he's got the ability to be an every down player in this defense. So I would be, personally, I'd be more interested in Adrian Clayborn than I would in Ansah and Lawrence, because of like that difference between how much we're going to have to pay those guys and the difference in production that we'll probably get from them. The only thing with Clayborn would be that his stats were like wildly inflated by one very, very, very good game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that if we did go the Clayborn way, you could have extra money for like a Norwell or offensive line help as well, even though things like that. So we're gonna just do one more here, and then we're gonna get out of here, guys, because we weren't gonna go live tonight, but we do have a lot of. We just did some videos on Solomon Thomas, as well as draft selections, first round choices, and second and third round choices. And I'm gonna put those out tomorrow and the next day. So be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I was not supposed to go live tonight, but that is definitely my fault. I apologize because I did not change it to private before I hit start. So my bad. But anyway, we're here. We're talking Niners, as always. So, Scott, last one we'll do. Jay Austin says Buckner gets sacks when he has another dominant force, right? So, which is true, that's totally true. But that's not what I want to get to. So Kevin says, what's the likability we trade out of the 9-10 pick to acquire more picks? Sure, it's quality over quantity. What would you do with them picks?
First thing I want to do is I just want to go back to the Clayborn question and say okay. He's a weird size. He's like 280, and he's not had a lot of sacks. He's more of like a Carradine style build, Ron Blair style build. So he's not really a Leo guy, but I think he's an option. And then go back to the picks. I would love to trade out. I really would. My personal draft crush is on Marcus Davenport. You'll see me talk about him in the next video. I think he's a guy who, if you trade down, I think he'd probably be there. And I do think that for us, given what our needs are, we could be well served by just trading out that pick, because hopefully there'll be 3 or 4 quarterbacks have gone in that top 10. And hopefully one of them will be sitting there when we're picking, because someone's probably going to come and get them, because they're going to be panicking. Buffalo, I think Buffalo's a big one because they've got 2 picks, but there are a few teams low down. Arizona might come and get them, and then we can get their first rounder and take them for a ride, because they're going to want to come and get a guy. I would love to trade down, and if so, that puts you in like people like Davenport. I know Eric Crocker over at NBN. He loves a guy called Isaiah Oliver, who's a cornerback from the same college as Kelly Witherspoon. And he thinks that Isaiah Oliver is much better, more polished than Kelly Witherspoon was coming out. So that's a guy you can potentially have a look at. There are other players as well, linebackers like a Rashaan Evans, former high school teammate of Reuben Foster. He could be there if you later on if you trade down. The list could go on. We're talking like Davenport. We're talking Harold Landry, Josh Jackson, maybe Jair Alexander. Lots of guys at positions of need that the 49ers could pull the trigger on. And ideally, if it's Buffalo, you get 2 guys in 2 consecutive picks. And then suddenly you're like, well, that was definitely worth it.
All right, great answer to that question. I said I was going to only ask one more, but this is a really good one, and this will be the last question. So what's up, Niner Joe? So Michael Allen says, last question. Should we not sign an edge in free agency? Would you trade down to Buffalo for their 21-22 and draft Malik Jefferson / Arden Key, who can fall down given to his off-field issues?
Malik Jefferson, I'd be down for. I don't know about Arden Key. I'm kind of petrified even about those character issues. Because of Reuben Foster. Just I do not want to take. It's not often you get 2 first-round picks. Especially, I mean, this is even higher than last year's second first-round pick. I'd be kind of petrified about Arden Key personally. I think I'd rather take a flyer. I'd rather take a Isaiah Oliver or someone like that than gamble on Arden Key deciding that he loves football because he's being paid for it, which is possible, of course. It makes sense.
Yeah, and guys, like I said, we pre-recorded 2 videos too that are going to be dropped, and we talk a lot about Arden Key in there as well. So we definitely don't want off-field issues and stuff like that. So guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I really, like I said, I apologize. It kind of threw me off guard when I see viewers coming in. I'm like, oh, what, Scott? What did I do? But guys, man, we are really appreciative of all yous as fans. Make sure you check out the new highlight videos. I'll be trying to drop one of those every day, every other day. If you guys have any selections or choices of who you want to see, send them my way. You can comment on the page on the videos and let me know who you want to see next, and I could do that. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because once we hit that 1,000 subscriber, we are going to give a gift away randomly to somebody who follows us. So, King of the Ship, appreciate you, Kevin Watts, Niner Joe, Michael, Jay Austin, all you guys, man. You guys are always in here watching us and following us. So make sure you follow us on Twitter at NothingBut9ERS, as well as Snapchat, NothingBut9ERS. You can hit us up on the gram at Nothing But Niners, as well as Facebook, Nothing But Niners. Make sure you check out our webpage, NothingBut9ers.com. Got a lot of great articles over there as well. And you can hit us up anywhere, man. You can find me on Twitter at 49erFaithful365. Scott, tell them where they can find you at on Twitter.
Twitter at Scott @_SC0TT_. Yeah,
so give Scott a follow over there as well. He's always willing to talk football, as I am. You can also follow a lot of our other guys at NY2TheBay, at StephanJov95, or Stephan is at Jov95 _. Just go to our webpage, guys, NothingBut9ers.com. Check out our crew. Give all of us a follow. You can find that on there as well. If you have any faithful photos, send them over to us at NothingBut9ers@gmail.com. But, guys, until next time, thanks for joining. As always, above all else, stay faithful. We out.